Liz, Rad, welcome.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you on. And we had it booked before. However, you had a fire in your gym.
Yes.
How have the things been since then? Have you managed to still train and teach?
Yeah. So the fire happened about 9 days after we reopened, sadly. We were lucky in the bad luck only because the fire took place in one of the rooms downstairs, and it was caught early enough. So our hall was not affected, which is a good thing. So what we've done is unfortunately, we had to put on hold Brazilian jiu-jitsu classes, functional mobility classes, but we carried on with capoeira. So we're just relocating in Easton and St. George Community Center for now. And then we should be back in the hall within 2 weeks. If it all depends on what Mr. Johnson will say.
And actually, it's worth mentioning that we're awaiting some sort of breaking news. Maybe Pavel will update us. So apparently there will be a press conference and they might be announcing another bloody lockdown for a month. So potentially that's another blow to your gym.
So which means we'll be, back online. But to be honest, we've been quite lucky because we really have like a strong community behind us. All the members, all the parents, from the kids class been supporting us. So it's been like, mentally, it's been like really, really good to have everyone behind us.
But it's really hard as well, because when we open, you have kids, they're really scared to come to class, They see what's going on in TV, media, they hear stuff. And they was like very stressed to just come to the class, And
obviously we have to understand that with people being locked in their homes, their mental health will suffer horribly, and potentially the best thing to help it is by physical exercise, any sort of sports. And I'm really hoping that they will keep all the gyms, including martial arts gyms, open in a COVID secure environment, because you can still do
exactly.
You check in on your entry to the gym, they check your temperature, you clean your hands with alcohol gel, and you just keep physical distance.
Yeah.
So it is doable.
It's doable. It's just
shops are open, stuff are, I just don't like it. Anything of this, shops open. If you will get it, you will get it anyway, I think.
Yeah. So hopefully, you will be back.
Pubs are open, they want to open pubs, but
that's crazy.
But they want to close it.
Insane.
It's hard times. Even if you train, it's pretty hard. But if you don't train, I think that's like so bad.
It had a massive impact on me because I used to train literally, every day, really hard sessions, and literally from the end of March, I was supposed to fight at the end of April, and obviously the fight was cancelled. And since the end of March, I haven't had a single proper hard, heavy training with my coach.
It completely changed the way you train. Even training online is good. You can reach out to more people in different countries. Okay, that's good. But for example, when we were teaching online with capoeira, we had someone who started, I can't remember, April or May. And then back in September, she came to class and then she was completely lost because obviously we were doing it, camera to camera. And then we were like, okay, now we're going to do exercise 2 by 2 with, social distancing. And she was like, I don't understand. I don't know what to do. And I said, it's good that you're training online, but it lost the whole purpose of capoeira because you're playing with someone.
And for some people, I don't know, jiu-jitsu, capoeira is life, Imagine take this away. And jiu-jitsu now, they say you cannot train with the partner. It's like just...
Oh yeah, I think in some gyms they trained with these mannequins.
Yeah.
Or several towels rolled into the gi. Yeah.
I guess you have to adapt and find new ways to train if you want to keep training and keep moving. It's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're both capoeiristas or capoeira specialists, so we talk about mainly capoeira. We mentioned about jiu-jitsu as well because you have this sort of strong connection to Brazilian culture, etc. Okay, but I need to explain how I found out about you guys, because I'm.
I don't even know actually how you find us.
I'm an internet stalker, so I think your name popped up on my Facebook or Instagram, like people you may know, and I see this guy, like, tattoos on his neck and in jiu-jitsu gi, beautiful background, black and white, and I thought, okay, let me have a look at this guy. Oh, he's from Bristol. Oh, he's doing capoeira, something I've always been interested, because you hear the name capoeira here and there, and as you mentioned earlier, my first association with capoeira is dancing.
Yeah.
Is this sort of dance mixed with martial art. So I looked you up, and I found out that you started running this Art of Movement school, and I got in touch with you. So, but it's worth mentioning that the way my brain works, and I'm drawn to high quality photographs, high quality videos, high quality designs, and in today's world, it's so important. When you actually have some sort of internet, social media presence, it's important that it looks good. Because if you had like a normal photograph, maybe I would have just skipped past you.
It's good to know.
Good job on the video.
It's good to know.
Yeah. It's so important. Everything that I do, whether it's this podcast or when I used to be in a band in the past, and even in my work where I have to create certain things as well, it needs to be appealing to the eye, because otherwise people won't pay attention to it.
People's attention goes very fast as well, so you have to catch it straight away.
But once you've got someone's attention, you have to prove to them that you have the content as well, that you're a real deal. So that's really important. So that's how I found out about you. Okay, so in your, I mean, we'll talk in more detail about it later on. But in your school, you provide classes around Brazilian jiu-jitsu, capoeira, and then you've got this art of movement
AOM
flow. Okay,
Yeah.
what can you explain what is this?
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's your creation, it's your baby.
So that's gonna be class. It's like fitness class.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say, but it's influenced by martial arts. So we're gonna, let's say, in this class we wanna focus more. If you do jiu-jitsu, or if you do capoeira, or you're just gonna get a bit more flexible, that's gonna be the class for you. Like, if you wanna have like basic movement, flexibility, and we're gonna use the exercise from martial arts, from jiu-jitsu, from capoeira, from kickboxing. Yeah. So yeah, this is.
So it's like a nice
performance. We're gonna do
Okay.
everything, like cartwheels, handstands, stretching, explosive power. Balance,
Okay, so it could be used by people who are not into martial arts
Exactly.
as
Exactly,
something to improve their
Because we're
fitness.
gonna work on your
Yeah.
hips, on your shoulders. Those things are very
But then,
important.
if you are into martial arts and you train whatever, it will improve your
in any,
performance.
the idea
Yeah.
is that it's gonna help you in any other discipline you're gonna do it. Even if you're a beginner to fitness or you are a professional athlete, that's the goal. Because everyone have to work their hips. Everyone have to work their shoulders. This is where people have problem. They think, I want to learn jiu-jitsu. I want to learn capoeira, whatever they want to learn, but they ignore those stuffs. And in the class, there's not enough of those stuff, and they don't do themselves. So they end up lots of injuries.
Because it's in a way it's the boring stuff.
And people,
it is.
but it's the most important.
I know.
People cannot do shoulder rotation with straight elbow or just go flat on your feet. Lots of people have problems with this.
Everyone wants to jump straight into techniques and the cool
That's
stuff.
exactly what it is.
That's
so
the
if
foundation.
if someone wants, especially if you go into certain martial arts because you've seen your idol doing it, you want to do. I want to throw that, fancy spinning kick, or I want to do this combination. Hold on a sec, let's stretch first. Let's make sure that after a couple hours you won't get injured, and then for a couple of weeks you will be in pain, having to take painkillers or maybe injections of cortisone, whatever. And that's something that a lot of not only fighters, but professional fighters hopefully will have a team behind them who will tell them, don't do it. Stretch. Half an hour, just do a little stretch. Warm up your muscles before you go into slightly more intensive training. But someone like me, complete amateur, if no one tells me, I will get hurt.
But you see, this class is supposed to help you. For example, you can do whole jiu-jitsu, the movement, to understand the movement. You can do whole jiu-jitsu movement without other person, And I think this is like the most important. People don't teach this, how to move, So I think we're gonna be only ones who's doing this like that on that level.
But you know what? Because another thing that drawn me to you is the name of your school, Art of Movement. I work in social care, so I'm a moving and handling expert. So I do a lot of assessments on people's mobility. When they need a wheelchair, I assess what type of wheelchair, etc., etc. So I look at movement from a different perspective. You look at slightly younger people who just want to get fit, perform better. I look at movement for elderly and disabled and how to get them back on my feet. And I can see a nice connection there because we both promote moving about, just movement as general. Sometimes it's better than
But I have
medication.
to say that because you said we're looking for only young people, No. We was doing like the classes in the park in Brislington. We started doing classes because we was training there every day. And people come start talking that, maybe you start doing. And, capoeira, lots of people who see young people, they see capoeira, they say, I never can do it. I cannot do it. It's not for me. I'm never going to learn it. I'm not flexible. I'm not fit. Now, it's for everyone. If you want to do whatever you want to do, you can do it, And you have a class. You need a class, let's say, 50, let's say, plus, 45 plus. And we have this in Brislington in the park, And we have, what was the oldest? How old was he?
Was like 60 plus.
And because, for people, Jiga, like the basic step here, or just holding the balance here, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy to hold their hand. And this is what they have to work to come back. And basic balance, it's not easy for those people, And everyone can do this, so.
It's just, we have to adapt the training to whoever's coming and
I do you know what I did think about it that maybe after we do this I might get in touch with you and maybe we can sit down and try and put together some sort of program because I'm in the process of developing some sort of exercise regime for carers, for people who work in nursing homes, hospitals. Because it's part of the culture. So in places like Japan, halfway through your day in the office, there's a signal going through the speakers. It's your Tai Chi time or it's your stretching time.
That's good.
And everyone
good.
stands up and for 5 minutes they do some sort of stretching exercise and only then they go back to the work. And I think it's built in the culture and the attitude of the whole nation. And I think we have to change it here
for
as
sure
well.
Here in this country, in Abu Dhabi they put jiu-jitsu now in the schools. In Brazil they use capoeira for social project, for the kids to keep them off the streets, to train. And I think in England for sure it's not enough the sport uses, it's really hard to find nice place to rent, for the sport. Or even I went to Poland, and I from small village, but there's awesome gym in the park, an open, space for everyone. It's good, and I see this more and more. But here is a little bit behind the sport, but slowly they're closing pubs, so they open more gyms.
But I think we talked about exactly what you were saying. That's something we want to, because we want to have more classes in the church. It's just when we came back, we started with a smaller, timetable, and then we thought about doing, maybe more mobility classes for older people.
So we can get involve people who don't want to do martial arts. Who but maybe we can pull them to, because now if they're going to start doing this class, now jiu-jitsu and capoeira that's going to be easy for them. So they can choose, or maybe
So
they can go for both.
You're hoping that their Art of Movement flow will finish the class and they go, oh, what are these people doing? Capoeira. Do you want to join in?
That's it.
Nan,
I think
come
it's
on.
slowly you have to
It's just to bring other people, you know.
You have to open people's minds, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's slowly but surely, you know.
Yeah.
Progress.
And we're starting MMA class as well. So we're gonna add on Saturdays. We're adding MMA class. So,
Wow.
So yeah, that's the and
we're gonna have also carnival fitness classes.
Oh, wow.
So
It's like a proper
so then,
Brazilian
that's,
Rio de Janeiro.
we're gonna serve
carnivals.
acai later as well. You know. So.
Wow. Brilliant.
slowly
Brilliant.
getting there, you know. We just need to come back to the hole whenever that happens.
Okay. Let's go back to capoeira, okay? Because I mentioned to you many times before, I did a lot of researching because I like to be prepared, and I find it really fascinating. So obviously, every martial arts has got some sort of origin story, like Kung Fu with China and Muay Thai in Thailand and well, everything, okay? When I found out how capoeira was created, I found it really sad and quite profound, but also really interesting as well. Because, well, you know it. I hope you know it better than me. That it was literally martial arts disguised as a dance, so that the slave owners wouldn't recognize their slaves training martial arts. So it was literally Portuguese slavers and slaves working on the sugarcane plantations, trying to practice some sort of martial arts, and they disguised it as a dance.
Yeah.
That's such a fascinating
Yeah.
concept. So you had slaves escaping plantations,
Quilombo.
forming
Quilombo.
quilombos. That's it. They're these small establishments of escaped slaves, and trained.
Zumbi dos Palmares.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I've-
it's Afro-Brazilian. It's capoeira. It's Afro-Brazilian. It was created in Brazil, but it came from Africa, from
Okay.
different places, you know. So it's Afro-Brazilian. It was created by slaves. Yeah, so it's martial arts, hide it in dance, music, instruments. You know, you have rhythms. So when they was playing certain rhythm, that was signal the police is coming.
That was so cavalaria.
Cavalleria.
Whoa.
Rhythm on berimbaus means police coming.
So
Pretend
now,
you're dancing and you're doing acrobatics, so they don't see you, you know, training.
so it was literally they practice martial arts, and then there's the signal, you know, someone's coming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they change the
Yeah.
style slightly to dancing,
Yeah.
and once they're gone, they carry on
Come
with
back
martial
to-
arts. Wow.
and everyone in capoeira, there's like tradition. Everyone have nicknames. Yeah, so because when police was coming, and so they wasn't using real names, so everyone had nicknames. And this tradition is to today, when you getting your first belt, you're supposed to get nickname. Sometimes you get some silly nicknames. People don't like that.
Have you got nicknames?
I mean, no,
Both,
we do.
I think, don't like.
Like my, because your nickname changed. So my first nickname was Delegada, which basically I think it's like I don't know how it's called in English, but those you know the guards in prison.
Prison guards.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means. I think it's the idea.
Oh my
I'm a
God.
nice person, you know. I think the idea behind this was because I run everything and organize everything, and
Oh, the
maybe sometimes I'm a bit
everything.
bossy.
She's like.
So I think that was the idea behind it, but I was given that nickname, but we wanted to change it. So then
Who gave it to you?
Maestro Primo.
we're Maestro Primo.
Maestro Primo.
But
Okay.
but then we
Because-
changed it to Frenchie because I'm French. So it's like in between, but you had.
Well, I have
nickname as well.
Chupacabra, you know.
Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Wow. There's this mystical creature that apparently lives in Brazil. But
And
is it
everywhere I
true?
go, you know.
Well,
and
who knows?
And they said, "What is your nickname? What's your apelido?" I said, "Chupacabra," and everyone just like laughing. You know, I said, "Nah, like."
But your nickname could be from anything, from a stupid haircut or something you says.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we have one student, his nickname is Kamikaze because he broke his nose trying to do a front flip. We had another one, his nickname is Jamaica because one day he had a hairband with the color of...
Like dreadlocks and stuff.
So it can be anything, something you say, your attitude, something you wear.
I've been one time on the event, I think that was like in Gliwice or somewhere. And, you know, they bring this master from Brazil and all the people, there was like over 100 people come to him and they all want a nickname, you know.
From him?
Yeah.
Give me a nickname. Oh my God.
Nickname. They got like the
Everyone
bells,
wants the
ceremony
nickname,
for
you
the
know.
bells, they got the nickname, you know. So then one of my friend, he got Sapatu, which means shoe. The other one got Sabão, soap. The other one got Baqueta, which this is Baqueta. You know, you have Kashishi nicknames. So sometimes...
And people would cherish these.
Because in
nicknames.
Portuguese they sound cool, yeah?
Yeah.
You only, it's nice, like, oh, what nickname am I going to have? But I think, back in slavery time, the idea was, if you have, I don't know, someone really small, and then his nickname will be, I don't know, Big Fat John. But so the police will be looking for a Big Fat John, but actually Big Fat John was something really small and skinny.
Yeah.
So was the idea behind
skinny,
it.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. What I found out about history of capoeira that blew my mind really. That obviously the slavery in Brazil was abolished at some point. Okay, in 1888.
Yeah.
I've got it written down here. Yeah. Okay. So former slaves apparently felt quite lost and abandoned. So obviously they were working on these sugarcane plantation. They had work, and suddenly they're free men, and they felt slightly lost. Okay. And apparently some capoeiristas started to use their skills in unconventional ways.
Yeah.
Criminals and warlords used capoeiristas as bodyguards and hitmen.
Yeah.
And it was that bad that capoeira was banned
It was illegal.
for about
was
3
illegal.
decades. Yeah.
It was banned until 1940.
1920s.
This is
I've got
why
here.
I start training. Because I remember a friend bring me the poster. He said, for many years illegal in Brazil, martial arts, created by slaves. Today popular all over the world,
I think
wow. That's so cool.
I think it was banned until a little bit later. We have to double check because what I read is that in the 1930s you had Mr. Bimba who convinced the government about the value about capoeira. So he was legally allowed to open his capoeira school, but he was not allowed to call it capoeira because there was still this ban. It was still illegal. And then so he had, I can't remember how he called it. I think he called it luta regional Bahia.
Yeah.
And then it got the ban was removed around 1940s, and then that's when capoeira regional started.
Okay, but I was trying to imagine in my head how badass these capoeiristas had to be that it was made illegal. I mean, I can imagine someone like a hitman in like a nice suit, standing by the door. There's some sort of mobster inside, and then you do these crazy kicks to scare people off. It's just how dangerous it is.
Unpredictable, Is it like even Conor Mcgregor was saying when he's seen in Brazil that it's unpredictable movement. It can come from anywhere. And jiu-jitsu and capoeira, that was two the biggest rivals in Brazil. There was lots of, because before UFC, before MMA in Brazil was luta. Vale tudo. It's exactly mean garbage of everything or something like this. Yeah, vale tudo. So there was lots of capoeiristas, jiu-jitsu guys fight. It was biggest rivals.
Yeah, and talking about rivalry as well. I told you I spoke to Bruno. By the way, shout out to Bruno.
Hey Bruno, where are you?
So he told me a story that apparently the competition between different capoeira schools in Brazil is so fierce. It's just a part of culture, because you see, when you go to the beach, you see certain schools training, and apparently, which I find it so shocking and despicable, that some schools hide knives in the sand, sharpened up, so that if another school goes on this patch of beach, they get injured.
Yeah, it's true. Lua was saying, is an instructor in Cheltenham, was telling us similar stories than when he was training in Brazil, and sometimes people will, go in street rodas and bring guns as well.
No, I was in Brazil in Recife, and we went for big event, but we was in the street roda at night, and so it was this group, Axé, big group, and then these two guys show up, with the bags like this, and they start saying, "Watch out, these guys! They have a gun! They have a gun! They have a gun!" Shit, So this can happen like this, you're on the roda, and then a guy can come with the gun, and it's serious,
It is.
And and this guy lose. He don't have nothing. He live in favela. He have no windows. He have no door, and he don't care. For him, his life. He train, and if he get beat up or something, he does nothing to lose.
But there's another thing that I found out from Bruno, is that in capoeira you can use swords or like sticks, or
it's called different.
That's called
yeah,
makulele.
Makulele, that's it.
And you see,
the only reason I remembered it is because my last name is Makulec. So Makulele, Makulec.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are either wooden sticks to practice, or the story he told me that he I think he was invited to his auntie's 50th birthday, and she paid these professional capoeiristas. Yeah,
that's
so
really
they
good.
apparently switched all the lights off.
Yeah.
And they started.
and the sparks
With
go
machetes,
everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I think this.
But it's not martial art, and it's not
part of
fighting.
It's entertainment.
It's a dance.
Okay.
It's a warrior dance.
It's the wider, Afro-Brazilian culture. So we do this within capoeira training. Sometimes it's just
very
wider
often used
element
for
of
shows.
capoeira.
And so there's legend. There's capoeira was created by Master Popo, and was used for show,
Makulele, you mean?
Yeah.
Makulele. Yeah,
Makulele.
Makulele. Yeah, okay.
But there is legends that there was village, and all the men left the village, and this guy stayed on his own because he was sleeping or something, and they attacked the village, and he defended the village with two
Machetes.
sugar cane machetes, So this is, sometimes you can see completely the story when they do on performance, that this guy fighting those bad guys, There's few different because
different
someone was
version.
with witches as well, yeah.
Yeah, there's different versions of.
Witches.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
don't-
And there is another thing as well for capoeira as well, is because so this is something what very often happens, because capoeira is not only capoeira. If you train capoeira, you learn Portuguese, you learn Portuguese, you learn history, you learn. You're probably gonna get very close to samba. So we have workshops where we have samba, you have makulele, you have
Music, singing.
singing. You have puxada de rede, which is like ritual,
Yeah.
where they pulling the net. They pretending they pulling the net from the sea, and singing songs, and because when they was fishing, one of the guy fall out to the boat, and when they pulling the net, they pulling him out, and they do like ceremony, funeral for him on the beach. So that's story as well, because this is how the village have food before, I think, and
Yeah, from fishing.
But it's really, really interesting, because I think capoeira is the only martial arts that, apart from martial arts aspect, it combines things like dancing, music. You've got language, because you've got Portuguese.
Brazilian
Do
Portuguese.
you have special costumes
For
potentially?
capoeira, for the training? Yeah, about
We have
that.
uniforms.
Okay, so
which
you
is
have
like a-
uniforms. Is there anything else that incorporates
Belts
the
as
whole?
well.
Okay, so you've
So
got
you have
certain
belts,
gradings
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And but to be teacher, you need to sing, you need to play on instruments.
You're
Yeah.
like
You need to know how to play with people with the respect anyone, you know. So that's the values kind of.
But it's
To,
all those things
it's
that
not,
you
it's
said.
not only fighting. It's everything. Is respect and.
You know, the apelido, which is the nickname, Makulele, Samba, Puxada de Rede.
For some belts, you need to be in Brazil.
But
Yes.
it was so cool because even though I literally had a little glimpse of your classes on Thursday, and even though it was Eastern Community Centre, so quite difficult to create the sort of authentic atmosphere without instruments, without your own hall, without
Without especially with social distancing.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
we have takedowns and everything, but we can't do
I
that at
still
the moment.
when you created the
Hoda.
Hoda.
the circle, and the music was playing, we were clapping, some of the people were singing. I could really
You feel the
It's
energy.
magic, yeah.
But that's what it's
This
so
is
nice,
like-
but that's also I think the tricky part of capoeira, because so you need people singing and clapping and playing instrument and playing in the hoda, but then if people don't give you that energy, it's really it's frustrating.
You take
It's hard.
and you give. You know,
Yeah,
you take
so
and
you're
you
inside
give.
the hoda, you have people around you clapping and singing, so they give you energy to be like, and you do cool movement, and someone's like, wow, yeah. You feed off each other.
yeah.
But I
yeah.
think
It's called
sometimes
axé. The energy called axé. In Brazil, they're using the word axé.
I think you need to let go, and sometimes people are shy, they don't want to sing. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
I don't know the lyrics.
I was very shy.
But I always say to people, look, if you don't know the lyrics, who cares? Sometimes we have been doing the hot as well. I don't know the lyrics, but I just make sound. Whatever I think sounds like.
Some lyrics don't make sense,
But
I think
it's at least I'm trying to contribute. I said, don't worry, but you have to. You have to get out of your comfort zone and be like, you know what, I just gonna
Let's do it.
Yeah.
let's just do it, and it will be
And
great. But
relax,
it's I think it's hard for people to get out of their comfort zone.
I think especially
Is it me?
in like Western culture, people will be thinking, oh, they're going to see me do this. What if I look weird and
Yeah,
stupid? Will
exactly.
they judge me? Will they roll their eyes, look at her or look at him? He's not doing it properly. There is a lot of that. And you
Music
just
is-
have to get rid of this. Just
And people are very conscious when you, like, I remember someone saying, oh, but when I go in the hoda, it's just so embarrassing. But I said, we don't look at you as a person, we look at the game. I said, when you look at me, you're not judging me, so I'm not judging you either. We look at this thing going on, like two people playing. I'm not thinking, oh, she didn't kick good, or what was that? It's, never. It's just, but you just have to, get out of your comfort
so
zone and
does
just
the
do it.
hoda happens at the end of each
training.
Usually,
Training.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can do hoda for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can just say, okay, let's play, let's play, let's sing.
It's the time
Let's
to
play.
practice whatever we've been teaching in
So whatever
training.
technique you're going through the class, you had a chance to practice it
Yeah, but
during the
you
whole
can
day.
do whatever you want. You can do something what you was practicing in at home,
'Cause when you
Yes, people were doing cartwheels and
Handstand and-
all sorts of weird shit, and I said, "Oh, should
The
I?"
more
should I?"
creative you are, the better,
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, it's the movement. You
The
just let
creativity,
it flow
Yeah, you have to-
freely and
game,
Yeah, it's
game is a
exactly.
game. If you don't
You-
call it fight, we call it game. Jogo.
you just express yourself, and when you train 2x2, it's kind of predictable because okay, I kick, you escape. But when you're in a hoda, you just do whatever you want, and you don't know when I'm gonna kick, and you don't know when I'm gonna do cartwheel.
Have you ever been hurt
Yeah.
in hoda?
Yeah, not many times. But
Yeah, I've been.
you
I
have more experience.
I think I have 2 or 3 KOs from I got,
Heel to the face,
and I could KO someone as well.
because it's a game. It's a game of centimeters.
You're
really.
aiming for the head.
You
Especially with
that's
spinning
it.
kicks.
People think, oh, they don't kick each other, But I going for your head. You escape it. You're not gonna. If you
Do you know?
if you don't know how to escape, it's gonna go in your head. And you cannot help it. The leg is heavy. If you're gonna get one like this in the head, then
That's
you
it.
just. I heard.
Good night.
I just heard. Dong. I opened my eyes. I didn't know what happened. And
And it's especially deceiving when you bend down, when you go
Yeah.
down and then your head.
Marcos Aurelio,
yeah.
where he did this kick in the MMA fight.
Yes.
He kicked first one and then he kicked second
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Very good kick.
Very strong one because you've
And
got
you
this.
have-
this
yeah,
oh.
and
Got
have
the
good balance
momentum
as
and
well.
the speed and
Mm.
Okay, so obviously you're really, really passionate about capoeira. You love it with all your heart. But how did you, first of all, how did you find out about capoeira? So you have to search your memories. And was there any specific moment when you thought, this is the thing. I love it so much that I'm going to do it until I'm dead and I want to be...
You go first.
I go first.
Yeah.
So for me, it was I don't know if you heard of the movie Only the Strong.
Oh, you need
I will send it to
You
you.
need a ketchup.
So I was, I don't know, 13, 14, and I watched this. I remember this movie. And my
Is it
grandma.
an American...
Yeah, with
Yeah, it's a
the famous
movie
actor.
that is back from like the 90s. So I was like
well,
13.
the best era for
Yeah,
martial arts
obviously.
film, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna like this one.
So it's quite cheesy, movie, but
It's cool.
it's a movie about capoeira, and I saw it and I was like, oh, that just looks so cool, I've always loved like cartwheels, handstand. When I was small, I would always be doing this in the playing ground, and I saw that and I was like, they look so cool. And I told my dad about it. I was like, I wanna do capoeira, but it was not popular at all at the time. And then a few years later, I heard that there was a few classes in Paris because I'm from France. But my parents didn't want to let me go to Paris by train by myself, so I kind of had to, leave the idea at the back of my head. So that's how I find out about capoeira. And then...
So you haven't tried it yet?
No, yet at that time,
Okay.
I just saw it. It was at the back of my head. I was like, one day. And then one day I was speaking with a friend, randomly talking about Brazil. She's been in Brazil. She was telling me, I train capoeira. And I was like, how come I want to train capoeira? And she said to me, I have a friend
Me.
who teach. And I was like, this is, how come I've known you for so long and I didn't know? And then I went to class and then that was it. I just never left because it was everything I expected and even more.
Okay.
And, it's just like the movement, the people, the music. I was not attracted to it. I love the music, but taking part is another thing.
You was like,
yeah,
what they do?
this is exactly what I was saying to you earlier, is getting out of your comfort zone because I love music. I enjoy, dancing and, singing by myself. But then when you... later on in your capoeira journey, you have to start playing, you have to sing, you have to start leading the roda, singing by yourself in front of everyone. That's a different story.
it's cool.
So that's something, but this is, I think, the beauty of capoeira because you have different level of learning, and at each level you start from scratch and it's another journey that begins.
Okay.
That's why it's so rich.
So was Rad your first...
My first teacher.
Instructor.
Yeah.
Teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
Professor Rad, yeah.
Safe 7, 8 years? 7?
When I started training? Yes, 7 years ago. Yeah.
It's
So
pretty
it's-
good. She's trained hard.
Yeah. So
She's
it's,
trained hard. Every day in the morning, we planning
Nice.
to wake up 7 o'clock in the morning and have capoeira.
but it's...
In your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
We-
big is your house?
Not big.
We don't have a living room. We have a mat.
We have the living room as a training area. There's no sofa, no table.
Yeah,
But
we don't have a
it's-
living room. We eat we sit on the mat. We eat on the mat. We train on the
You
mat.
need space, if anything, for any martial
Yeah.
arts.
Yeah, we
You
have.
You
need
adapt
space.
to
train.
where you
Yeah.
We
train.
don't have living room. We have like this jigsaw mats. 6 of them.
Okay. So what do you do when you have friends over? You do capoeira
Wow.
with them?
Sitting
You
on the
just
mat.
kick.
We don't have friends over at the moment. We use this is another thing about capoeira. We used to organize loads of socials, have people around
Bruno,
the
you can
house,
ask Bruno for the barbecues.
do
And stuff.
barbecues, just to get people together, sing, not sing. But now we're a bit limited, so we don't have people over at the moment. But the
Only
socials,
kamikaze, only to train. Kamikaze coming always to train,
the socials were a big part of our capoeira group, and I think that's why our
Yeah.
community is so strong, because we do lots of things during training, but outside training as well.
Okay.
It's just like it's
We
a
was
family.
like pretty cool. Was we was going to the beach together, doing capoeira on the beach. I think this is the best thing. Doing capoeira on the beach.
Have you done it somewhere here in UK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
We did a
it's
couple of
cool.
times. So it's, and it brings us closer. We get to know each other. Then people are less shy in class.
We have
And
good people.
I think that would be possibly one of the sexiest things ever, is to have a surfing board and do capoeira and then do a little
We
bit
did
of
that in Brazil.
surfing.
And then
This
jiu-jitsu.
is what we
Wow.
did.
And then have
yeah.
acai.
We went surfing. Then we were playing capoeira. It was in Rio, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was it's
Yeah, this is
so
what we were
cool.
doing. Our
Fantastic.
surfboards next to us, and we play capoeira. Yeah.
It's got this really cool appeal.
And jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Capoeira, of course,
all- it's all-
yeah. Can you roll on the sand? Of course you can. Yeah, it's slightly
you can-
tricky.
You can always try to take someone down. You can do it everywhere.
So you can link
soft landing, yeah.
in the Hoda, if you know jiu-jitsu, you do a takedown and
It's gonna be
then you
flow.
can finish with, I don't know,
It can
armbar.
it can go. It can continue. It can continue from standing to jiu-jitsu, from jiu-jitsu back to capoeira. It's movement. It's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Same like capoeira. It's just different distance. The games is the same. The getting angles is blocked here. You need to go to other side. It's
Okay.
I don't know, for me.
So what's your
My story.
story? Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how long it's gonna be. I'm gonna try to make it short. So I always want to train something, but my mom never didn't have money. You know.
So that was back in
in
Poland.
you know, when I was kid, you know. So the times was in Poland pretty tough. You know, I always want to train something. My mom didn't have money to train to sign me up to karate school, you know. But I watch all the movies with Bruce Lee, and I have a brother, so we very often fight.
See, a movie as well. With
Yeah.
me, it's a movie as well.
See?
With
Movie
me,
is good.
it was Kickboxer, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Muay Thai.
Ah, yeah.
I thought, of course, so like that. This is how we grew up.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
The 90s, the best martial arts films
yeah.
in the world
and the
were
best hip hop.
possibly, yeah. Go on. So Bruce Lee. Yeah.
So all the, you know, Shaolin monks, Bruce Lee, Van Damme, Karate Kid, all those movies, you know. And I always with my brother, let's play fighting. So I was always end up that someone was crying. So he was younger brother, but he was crying more. And so I always liked it, but I didn't have way to train, you know. We play very often with my friends on PlayStation 1, and there was this game, Tekken,
Yeah.
and this guy was the capoeira guy, Eddie Gordon.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, and
didn't
he was
know.
doing capoeira, and I didn't know it was capoeira. I thought just a guy to breakdance, you know, and fight. So I was pretty naughty as well in school, like, you know. I fight a lot. So I said, if I'm gonna beat someone like doing something like this, the girl's gonna like me. I was maybe 13, yeah, or 14, yeah. 14, I want to say. So I said, oh, that's cool. So I said, I need to learn breakdance. Now, I know how to fight from Bruce Lee movies, so I need to learn breakdance, you know. And then I was probably 15, 16, 16, 17, 16, I would say. I was talking with my brother. I said, you know, this guy, I want to learn breakdance, you know, this guy from Tekken, you know. He said, this is not breakdance, this is capoeira, was created by slaves in Brazil. And then when I was 18, I said, okay, I start, you know, I was doing lots of bad things, parties, everything. And then when I was 18, I said, okay, I want to start, I always wanted to do something. I said, you know, I earning my money, I going to school, you know, I want to do something I can pay for Thai boxing. I always liked Thai boxing as well, you know, so I said, oh, maybe I go to Thai boxing or this capoeira thing I heard, you know. And my friend, oh, I seen poster in my school. And he bring me the poster. And like I said, on the poster was illegal martial arts. For many years, illegal martial arts created by slaves.
That's a really good selling point.
In
Yeah.
Brazil, you know. And I said, wow, this is cool. You know, and so I went with my friend to the class. You know, running after the teacher, calling him sensei, sensei, sensei. You know, and we was doing jumping jacks and you know, press ups. I didn't remember when I done last time press ups, so I was like so proud of myself. I did 30 press ups. I don't know the quality of those press ups, and I remember as well, like the first thing from the training. You know, I knew how to do cardio before I came, but the coach saying, "Oh, we need to do cardio," and you know, I tried to do cardio and I fall on my face. I said, "What's going on?" Like, you know, I have a joint before the first class as well. I say, I'm so stoned. I think, so I'm so stoned that people are here and I'm falling on my face. You know, I didn't realize that you can do cardio on both sides. So that was my bad side. And, you know, I was so happy. You know, I remember coming back from first training, doing Jenga on the bus stop, you know, going home, doing stuff what I was doing on warm-up, you know. Somehow I get some music in the Walkman. I always was listening capoeira music, you know.
That must have been so funny for others on the bus
Yeah.
stop to watch you.
You know, I remember first I start training at home. The sensei come back, teacher, next week. He actually was driving, if you know, he was driving from Śląsk. Śląsk is, let's say, Gliwice or somewhere, Katowice, from Katowice to Poznań by Fiat 126. 126, I don't know, probably not many
Small
people gonna know.
Fiat.
Small Fiat. 5 hours drive, 4 hours drive in this Fiat, just to teach one class a week in Poznan, you know.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
That's
18 years ago, you know. That was my teacher, Periquito. Maybe you're gonna watch this. Yeah, you know, I start copying him. Everything what he was doing is like perfect with every movement, every position. Really cool guy. That was it, I think.
Yeah.
I want
So-
to say
so-
something else.
So what was his name?
Periquito. Periquito
So
is
what
a
was
little
he-
bird from Brazil. That's the nickname.
That's
his
a nickname.
But the guy is very big, you know.
Little bird. So obviously he must have been one of the first guys
he was first for me.
to
Right.
come to Poland.
He was Polish, but you know he's have this accent from Katowice that we was thinking like he sound Brazilian.
I've got relatives from Śląsk as well, so I know what you mean. They have very unique accent.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
different language. So you know, but he was in Brazil. He was training already, probably for 5 years. He was probably crazy about it, obsessed. You know, his moves was super nice. He was playing super good. He went to Brazil. They was the guys. They bring capoeira to Poland. So that was probably around 25 years ago. 25 years capoeira is probably, I reckon, in Poland, very close to this.
So obviously, because capoeira has entered the mainstream not that long ago. It's not like it's been around for, you know, because the martial arts was created about 500 years ago, but it's really entered the mainstream of martial arts a few decades ago, really. So who were, apart from your sensei, can you name some
Capoeira, I think,
pioneers or someone
Yeah.
who brought it to, let's say, the Western world from Brazil and stuff
Well, I
like
guess
that?
all the biggest mestre, Mr. Camisa, Mr. Boneco, Mr. Barão,
Like
who
that-
moved from,
that's the biggest
who
group.
created the biggest group, moved from Brazil to the US and Europe, you know, who started spreading awareness
Yeah,
about
I mean
capoeira.
those guys in Poland, they seen the movie Only the Strong, and they start. This is how they start training. You know, it was 5 of them, and they start training. They was doing everything wrong, and then one day they went to Hamburg, to Germany, and find the Mestre Ney, you know, and they bring. That was the biggest group. It's still probably the biggest group in Poland. You know.
The thing is how it started, you know, all the mestre moving from Brazil and then
Yeah,
setting
all
their
the best,
classes.
like very like all the best guys, they live in Brazil, you know. They go, they look for, you know, better life, better money. So for lots of them is a as well way of escape,
Yeah.
bring better life for their families. So, you know, they're really good because they train really hard, you know. And if you train something really hard, you repeat something many times, you know, the body can do crazy things, and the kicks can be very fast, you know, and it's amazing what they're achieving through the stretching and training and the movement, the way, you know. So the best guys, they always, you know, they live around US, Europe, you know. You don't have to go to Brazil
Okay.
to train good capoeira, you know. I always say always, sometimes it's better here, you know, than over there because, but you have to go to Brazil to see the.
Yeah, because obviously, again, capoeira is not just fighting. There's so much more than that,
Yeah.
and there's certain things that you can only experience when you go to the origin, you know, the fatherland of.
But as well to
Capoeira.
understand fully, you know, there's so many messages in the songs. There's songs about warriors, about history, you know, about lessons of life, you know, and very often you can find yourself as well. So I think, like, I like to say the kind of music that giving soul for capoeira, you know, you can feel, and if you can understand a little bit, or it's about warrior, you know, it can like take you in. You feel like you are this warrior, you
Especially
know?
if you've had joined before.
Music can help.
Definitely. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is the technique itself. So capoeira, now that people know a lot more about capoeira, you see someone moving in a certain way and you can straight away say, that's capoeira.
Yeah.
So you've got this.
But still, so many people don't know about capoeira. That's
I know.
that's the
I
problem.
know. Yeah. I mean, it takes.
They cannot
it
even
takes-
say capoeira,
time.
you
It's
know?
take.
They
Do you know
cannot
what?
really-
Do you know what? When I was preparing to this, I thought, how do you pronounce it properly? So
Yeah.
I went to these capoeira websites where they teach you how to say it. So I know
That's
capoeira,
that's good.
and you have to roll this R.
You need,
Capoeira.
it's
you need to
easier-
share all
It's
stuff
easier-
what you did with our students.
It's
because
easier for Polish people because you wrote the
Yes,
R in
it
Polish.
was easy for
Portuguese
me.
is easier for
But for
Portuguese.
English
Capoeira.
people,
Yeah.
they don't. English people don't roll, so it's capoeira.
Yeah,
I love it.
capoeira.
But even French people, we don't roll the R.
We have like Duncan. Duncan is with us over 10 years, I think. He still cannot say capoeira.
Yeah.
Capoeira.
So Jenga,
Jigger.
that's the basic
Step.
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the main aim of this of capoeira and the way you move, the way you flow?
I mean, Jinga, you can.
Everything
You-
comes from Jinga.
Yeah, Jinga is like fight stance. Yeah.
Okay,
You can say Jinga is like fight stance. You're always moving. You're always balancing, and you're hunting. You're setting traps. My move gonna make you react. I still wanna take you down. I mean, I wanna have a game with you, you know. So if you escape and if you counter me, the better chase is gonna be, the more fun, you know. But yeah, it's like sparring. It's like normal sparring with kind of being nice to each other, and you do from Jinga.
yeah. So what I really like about it, because when I read the way they describe Jenga and everything you build up from Jenga,
Yeah.
all the additional stuff, it got two main purposes, aims. First of all,
Constant
to
movement.
be a moving
Yeah.
target, and that's true for any martial arts.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
especially for anything stand up. So boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, you have to move because
Yeah.
the more you move,
The,
the harder target
Yeah.
you are for your opponent. And the number two, which I think is so important, is feints and tricks. So
Yeah.
pretending
So it's
Yeah.
you're doing
every
something.
little,
Yeah, yeah.
like when we
Exactly.
was learning Jinga, I said, look, let the elbow go first, you know. They already think, little thing here, you just touch the floor a little bit louder, they're gonna look there, you know.
Yeah. So that's like the main.
Everything comes from there, you know.
So you make people think,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna attack
And you hunt,
here.
you're always
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah.
You're always hunting them, you know.
This is what I
He
was
was
saying.
looking what's going on, and two people need to make two cool games. Games can be, it's like conversation with the moves.
Mm.
You
But
know?
this is what I was saying to someone this morning in class. I before we started, I said, "Don't let me corner you, because if you don't move, then this is where I'm going to corner you." You know, or when people don't know what to do, I said,
Same thing.
just move around.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
jingab and move around, because this is where they are the person you're going to lose them. You just have to keep moving, even if, because this is what beginners think. They're like, oh, but I'm just doing jinga. I said, doesn't matter. That's your most important move.
But we were-
Everything comes from jinga.
My master, like, I remember training with Messine, you know, he would just do balance and jinga. And everyone was so scared, you know, because I was so big and he jinga like this, his big arm here. So, because jinga is all your base, you're like very protected here and you're always moving and all attacks coming from here. So, it's if you do this good, it's danger, you know. So he was like, and the balance, because
Balance is fake
boom,
movement.
boom,
You're just
boom.
pretending
his
to do
arm
something.
like very big, very scary. So we was like saying, you know, he's killing people with balance
nothing.
and jinga by doing. You can say doing.
Nothing as
Nothing,
in
you
no
know.
attack, no really
Yeah.
attacking you.
I
And
think
so-
it's just his presence and the
Yeah,
way he
yeah.
moves.
He's pretending
it's
to do things.
intimidating. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, I'm gonna get hit.
Yeah, but you see, this is where people say, oh, they don't hitting each other, but sometimes. I don't need to get hit. I know this guy just killed me, like, you know. I know. I just did mistake, or he catch me really good, you know. He don't have to hurt me more or something. I know there was mistake, and
And actually, all what I found really cool, because at the very beginning of the class, you did explain why Jenga looks the way it looks. So the arm is here to protect you.
protect.
The arm here is to protect your
protect.
rib cage from
Ready to hit
body
as well,
kick
to
or
catch.
body punches, etc., etc. So it's got a really solid martial arts basis still.
But that's as well as style,
Yes.
because you
Yeah.
have groups where you have groups where the capoeira is not really good. It's not very like with structured with the strong foundation, you know. Sometimes they call it this one a bit more modern capoeira, you know, especially like in our group. We really look for those details, you know. This is very important. This is correct way. This is like, it makes really sense as well, because you want to have very strong structure for your body, you know. If you have your foot here and the knee bending, or everything is for purpose, you know, to have this good balance, to be able to leave the leg, to be able to go quickly to front, back, anywhere you want, you know, and safe, and always be safe, you know.
If you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
But
can.
that's if the good base will always keep you safe.
So you did say that at the end of each training session, there's
Hoda.
Hoda. Okay, so that's you create a circle with everyone who trained with you, who everyone went through the whole session, learned all the techniques. You play some music, you do a little bit of singing, and you have a chance to basically be creative, imaginative.
You never know what's happened. You know, we used to say inside Hoda, going who want, coming out from Hoda, who can. I see people, you know, they have teeth on the metal thing, put it together, you know.
Don't discourage me, okay?
And that's not our goal.
We're very playful.
No,
We're
our
very
goal is
playful.
to make
We play,
playful.
like we
We
say,
don't
we
wanna
play capoeira. We don't
play.
fight.
Play, but with the very good base, with
Yeah.
solid kicks. But it's a game, you know. So sometimes it's very hard to describe capoeira.
Yeah.
You know, if someone gonna come to training, he's gonna be too aggressive. He gonna get this back, you know, to kind of calm down, you know.
Dial it down.
Yeah. You feel people's emotion,
They-
even when you roll.
Yeah, you
whether
feel
wherever
emotions as well.
you're training, you feel people's emotion, so you react to it.
Yeah.
You feel in jiu-jitsu as well, any martial art, you feel emotions. You feel some people make you angry
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
fight.
well,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
fight
yeah.
with someone and have super good exchange, and it's good, challenging. Even the guy can winning and everything, but you can feel emotion. Do he want to hurt you, or he's technical. It's technique, you know. And,
Absolutely, it's the same with kickboxing,
Every martial
and
art.
it takes a long time to control your emotions.
So
Yeah.
this is how
It's a hard challenge.
this is how capoeira game can turn into flying tables, for example, because you can find videos like this as well on YouTube.
Yeah. So wait, when you get punched, your automatic reaction is you
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah, you have to work on yourself. You know, that's
But
the
it-
biggest challenge. You
Yeah.
know,
But it shows when you're really experienced that you will control your emotions
down,
and you
hide
will
it.
come down, say, okay, what did I do wrong? Let's work on my defense better. Maybe move a little bit more confidently.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense. And with the
So
circle.
always beginners always are the most dangerous people.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have
I
to
know.
say that.
I know. Just like with jiu-jitsu, it's
Jiu-jitsu
the
as well.
worst thing to roll with
Yeah.
white belts.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous
Yeah.
people. Every time I bring one time 2 people to jiu-jitsu, one hurt my ankle, the other one give me purple eye. And I was looking after themselves, you know, after them, you know, I was looking after them to not hurt them, and they like go crazy, you know.
But it's the same with kickboxing. When you spar with someone who's really good and they throw a combination, they usually go by certain patterns. So they go pa, 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 and then leg kick.
Yeah.
So you're ready for this. So you
Yeah.
know where that when you spar with someone who's never done it, they can throw
You don't
anything
know.
weird
You have to be
and a
ready.
weird angle, quite strong as well because they don't
'Cause they
feel
don't
the strength
understand.
Yeah,
yet.
you don't control.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna keep hurting people, then people gonna end up with injury. So that's for sure. It's not good way,
No.
you know.
No, absolutely not. That's the wrong.
We
Yeah.
all coming there to learn.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah,
coming to
yeah.
learn. We all coming to train.
And I think fighters, especially professional fighters, these days they realize that it's about longevity. It's about maintaining your fitness for as long as you can because it extends your career.
Yep.
And people have to remember that these fighters have lives outside the ring or octagon as well. So you don't want to go home with, with broken leg, broken foot, or seriously hurt head.
Yeah.
You want to enjoy your life outside the ring as well. And people need to have longer careers as well. Because these
I think before was different. Before they was go
heavy. Yeah, let's go.
everything, even karate or people was scared to go to martial. They was like, if I gonna go to martial, I'm gonna get beat up. I don't want. I want to go to martial arts, but I don't want to get beat up.
That's why I always.
But this is really wrong, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're going there to learn.
That's why I love the way Thai people spar. They very often with Thai boxing, they very often spar without any gear. So they have gloves, but they don't even use shin guards.
Yeah,
So it's literally about touching
Yeah.
and movement.
that's good.
Uh,
It was hard.
and that's why they have fights every week, and they fight from the age of 12, 13, and they fight until they're 45 or 50. Because they know how to look after their bodies. They don't go crazy in the training. They might have an odd heavier session because you need it.
Yeah. Sometimes,
but they don't do it so often.
But same in jiu-jitsu and capoeira. We all like it, especially if you're training a bit longer, So you do like it, the challenge. But you can go. Then it's gonna be. Can this person what you spar with? This person can go so hard and don't hurt you, because it can be really hard, but no one have to get still hurt.
It's about trust.
Good training partner.
You get to know who you're training with after a while. You know how much
but
they
that's
can take.
happening on the higher level when you look. Sometimes looks so scary, but nothing happening.
Yeah.
It's all yeah.
So going back to Hoda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that.
Hold on. Okay. So you well at the end of the podcast we'll have a little jam session again because we had one at the very beginning. So what sort of instruments do you need to have like a nice good Hoda?
Perfect. Bateria. Bateria this is
the name of the
I'm gonna let you talk a little bit now.
Go on.
chassis box. So we have the atabaki here. We have the pandero here. The agogo.
Let me just present.
And then we've got the main instrument who is leading everything, the
It
berimbau
all depends
behind
from
you.
berimbau.
That tells you what to play, when to play, how to
Do
play.
you fight? Do you just mark? Do police
Yeah.
come in?
Hopefully we don't have to play this now.
If people fight, it separate the fight. Is they start fighting. The birimbau go in the middle, separate
And
them.
then when you play birimbau, you holding kashishi, so it's making this extra sound.
So you play these two instruments.
You're holding this in your hand, so when you play with the baqueta here, I'm hitting the string with this, that makes like a little extra sound with
That's
my hand.
multitasking to a very high level. I don't think I'll be able to do that.
So those I would say are the main.
So you
main
supposed
four.
to be 3 birimbaus. Supposed to be 3 birimbaus, one gunga.
So there's like a full orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gunga, medio, viola.
So you can see the size of the it's called cabasa.
It's
Different size, which
like
make
the
different
okay.
type of sounds.
Oh.
And
Okay.
that's the thing here.
And they have different
pumpkin.
roles as well. So we only
Wow.
have one. We have the biggest one, which is the leading
Gunga.
one today.
Okay. So you have a circle of people. You
Yeah.
have two people displaying their skills in the
Yeah.
in the middle of the circle,
There's
and you've
rules.
got
There's
people
many rules.
playing instruments,
Yeah.
singing, clapping. So you've got
Yeah.
And
this
there are rules.
emotions running
Yeah.
high,
The
and
circle have to stay all the time. People
Many
have
rows
to-
in the hoda.
People have to clapping all the time, singing all the time. You can buy the game. We call it buy the game. So if two people fighting, playing, you need to choose one, go in front of their face, put the hand. I have to take good moment as well because the kicks, everything can happen. So you have to find good moment. You've seen it, yeah?
I did, yeah.
Boom, they buy the game and then you're going, From soon as you're facing the other person, you're ready, for anything,
And then you spar until someone else
And you
comes
want
Buy
in.
to
the
go
game.
in. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I can finish. I can take break. Which break? If I want to break, I can say Volta do Mundo, which means around the world. And then you walk around the Hoda.
Just to have a
And
break.
you can rest and you
So
have a break.
that's what it represents, the
Yeah.
world. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
But you have to, even when you have a break, you have to keep looking at the other person. You always look in capoeira. Capoeira have elements like malandragem, mandinga, malicia. I don't know how, but it's
like,
from the street. It's dirty as well.
Magic, being malicious.
And as well,
cheeky.
candomblé, voodoo. They believe in you have in legends like people have closed the body with like the magic, so they cannot get hurt. And malicia is very like sneaky, It's like smiling to you and taking you down, Or in capoeira you have head, elbows. So it can be. That's all the elements, It's like it's from the streets.
And you did say on Thursday that you have to be always looking, even if you're down. You have to look
Upside down.
in between your legs as well.
Yeah,
all that never.
and it's funny. Eye contact is very hard for people because it's very, I don't know, personal, intrusive. You meet someone in training that you don't know, and you have to look at them into the eyes. But I always try to explain is, if I look at you in the eyes, I see you. Well, there's a table now, but I see your whole body. But if I look at your legs, I don't see what's happening here. So, but it's just misconception. You have to think, okay, I'm looking at you in the eyes. I see everything that you're about to do.
Because most of the moves start with your eyes. Where you're moving, and so we were always told to look at the chest and
something
eye.
like this.
Yeah.
You look here. You have to see everything. So.
That's why it's so good
Because
as well.
you need to see as well, because if the kick comes, you need to see how to escape. If I were gonna play someone who's not looking at me, I'm not gonna put fast kicks, because I'm not gonna trust this person. I don't wanna kick this person. I don't wanna hurt this person. Okay, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna make he's gonna look, and I'm gonna help him do the escape, and it's fine.
Well, you have to learn to
But
look. For some people, it's very hard.
The more advanced person, I know that I can trust more and I can kick faster and more and try to confuse them even more, and I know they can handle and play the game, and I can trust them that. I know.
So have you ever had like proper high level sparring with someone?
Yeah, I had those. I mean, for me, it's like it can be jiu-jitsu, it can be capoeira changing to jiu-jitsu, coming back to capoeira, and just keep going, and I spar like with my friend, like doing kickboxing, you know, and we was doing MMA, and it's.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't wait. And
I don't have to do Jinga. If you fight, you don't know Jinga, but we have same kicks.
Yeah.
The hands we all use the same. Elbows, you know, in Capoeira you have head.
Have we got an update?
Just happening now.
Oh,
Really? Wow.
dear.
Fingers crossed. Okay, so a few days ago, you posted something really interesting because you posted a quick interview with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And him describing
Capoeira.
capoeira and what sort of benefits it gave him in his MMA game.
Yeah.
Okay, and very often people might say, well, I've never seen McGregor doing Jinga or, you know, something similar. However, there's a lot of aspects of capoeira that I think he's using, especially when it comes to his unique
Kick.
movement and some of his kicks. So
Do you know why, Remi? Do you know why?
Go on, tell me.
Because he trained with guy Ido Portal.
Okay,
He's like the movement specialist. He's from Israel. But
is this the guy?
That's took it from Hickson Gracie.
Okay, that's something
That's
else.
different.
Okay,
There's
okay.
another movie what you have to catch up with, the movie called Choke. Okay? So Hickson
There's a movie called Choke,
Yeah, it's about Hickson Gracie. Hickson
like
Gracie
a documentary. Okay,
Yeah, he's from Gracie family. I think he have over 300 fights and never lost. You know, but it's a pretty cool movie. You know, it's where he's saying body is a machine and he do briefing and he do this. You know, so this is what Conor McGregor is from there. But he trained for his fights with the guy Ido Portal. Guy's really good with movement. He's from Israel, and he's from Capoeira. So this is how he start finding the movement, because now he using Capoeira. He don't call it Capoeira, but he using Capoeira. It's Capoeira.
Okay.
What he's doing is Capoeira, but he don't call it Capoeira. It's Ido Portal.
and it's really interesting because when you look at, let's say, some of the UFC fighters that had any sort of background in capoeira, you can see that they have very unique and absolutely amazing style of moving. We mentioned Anderson Silva before we went on as well. So he's fighting tonight. Apparently his last fight, and he's retiring.
The last fight was before already. And that's good.
Could be. But
good.
then you have people like, you know, even Aldo, and you have Thiago Santos. So quite a lot of people from Brazil
Yeah.
having experienced years and years of training of capoeira, and then they've got this very unique style of moving. And what's really interesting again, because capoeira could be called a type of dance, and dancing is so important when it comes to movement.
Yeah.
There's so many UFC stars. There's Israel Adesanya, and his background is breakdancing. He used to be a
Taking
break
movements
dancer.
to-
Exactly. There's this
we have
Ukrainian boxer, Vasil, whatever, Shevchenko. I'm butchering his name now, but his background was ballet, and he's one of the best moving boxer in the world.
We have even in Bristol, Said.
Mm-hmm.
He's like his dad was teaching Olympic wrestling team.
I think I've got him on
So-
Facebook and
Mhm.
And
Instagram. Yeah,
this is what he do. He teaching wrestling. He teaching like even UFC guys and
with the big beard.
big beard. Yeah, and he's so good with movement, with wrestling. Flow. And he do dancing.
Yeah.
But it's even, I said earlier I would do carnival fitness classes. So I
Start.
I qualified as a. So the guy behind Carnival Fitness is the brand behind is Pilo Exercise.
Okay. Yeah.
So Pilo is from Cuba, and he was telling me in the army they teach army guys to dance just to know how to move faster. So it's just
I think that's. Yeah, I think this is why so many Brazilian people, because the culture is so rich in many different dances, and the music is so big, And so you have a capoeira, you have a jiu-jitsu a little bit there, you play football, so they do so many, and the surfing, they do so many things that they very well just very good
Still
athletes.
good coordination.
You know? Yeah.
And I mean, this is crazy because you moved smoothly to my next thing I want to talk about. Because obviously, capoeira, Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
Samba,
these are
Makulec, Samba,
these are
puxada
so
de rede.
uniquely Brazilian things. Okay, even though jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
was created in Japan and then it was brought to Brazil, but still Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a completely separate martial arts. So why do you think the Brazilians are so good?
Well, first, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was created in Brazil.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
talking about jiu-jitsu was
Yeah.
created in Japan and then was brought to Brazil.
Because the Gracie family, they learn judo, and they blend it. They start adding guards and stuff. So I think it's more coming from judo.
It could well be, but I know that was a style
Yeah.
called
Jiu-jitsu,
jiu-jitsu.
yes.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is traditional
In Japan.
Japanese
Yeah,
Jiu-Jitsu, where you have striking as well. Yeah. Okay.
So what's so unique about Brazilian people that they create such beautiful, intricate ways of choking or, bone breaking, but still they have, this very graceful dancing as well and such a rich culture around this.
I think we were talking about it yesterday, and we were saying that because it's part of their culture, the dancing, the singing, the music, and kids are exposed to that from a very early age. So I think they develop that coordination and movement very very early on.
yeah.
And not like
And I think,
that's something they
they
have-
was just doing this, and probably from doing this, because
It's
it's
so natural
evolving. It's
for
evolving,
them.
It's evolving even now. It's still evolving. It's all the time evolving. Capoeira evolving, jiu-jitsu evolving, MMA evolving, everything evolving because people are doing this so much. They're getting better and better. You can see kids now. You look at the kids, and they do black belt jiu-jitsu. They know all the techniques. They know everything. It's like,
but they're like sponges, they
You know,
absorb everything so early.
imagine what's gonna be when they're gonna be older. Our ages they're gonna be like machines.
Well, yeah, for sure. But even, we went to Brazil. For me, it was my first time, but in December last year. So Brazil is so rich. It's such a rich country. The culture is so rich, and they were saying it's so poor at the same time. So they have this will to fight and to work
the
hard
family.
and for the family, for themselves, and get better life. So maybe they have this drive, and this will to and
This can be
get-
only only way to get out of this where they live, or to get better life for some of them, because they maybe sometimes don't finish very good schools, and for some people it can be like their project. They start with the project somewhere, and that's only education they have.
Well, in Brazil, I mean, mainly in Brazil and in Africa, and I'm sure in other countries, they use capoeira as social projects to get kids out of the streets and out of drugs and whatever, bad behavior they're having. So all this is, is linked, I think.
Because they jiu-jitsu as well, like
Yeah,
tereré as well. We have social projects for the kids as well, and those kids probably gonna be champions, lots of them,
But killers.
Yeah.
Killers. And just going through some names, just like Silva and Aldo and the whole Gracie family as well. They're like best of the best. And they've created, especially Gracie family, they've created an empire now
Yeah, for sure.
of schools and BJJ
But
specialists.
before you have only Gracie was good in jiu-jitsu, and now it's not only Gracie. Like now, if this was happening before, like Hickson had so many fights before, and he was winning everything. Jiu-jitsu was winning before because people didn't knew jiu-jitsu. Now people know jiu-jitsu, so no one is really undefeated.
Yeah.
Before it was like jiu-jitsu was winning everything. Now jiu-jitsu still winning. It's always good when jiu-jitsu win UFC. Everyone want to train.
Yeah, well,
People
I think it's one of the fastest growing martial arts now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think when UFC 1 happened, when he won the tournament, I think everything went. You have this little guy in the gi, you know,
from the back.
choking this huge
guy.
kickboxer. How on earth did he do that? And people are like, "Whoa, can you do that? Oh yeah, you can."
It's got
Yeah.
big because, you know, they went to America. They bring this to America. They fight in garages, you know. They try to prove. They was challenging everyone. If they find someone on the beach in Rio, big guy, they want to fight. They
You,
was,
you,
they
and
was
you.
going to the schools, to the other martial arts academies to challenge the people, you know. So that was the goal, to prove, and they're still proving, you know, that they're trying to. Well, in UFC, they're still winning, you know.
Wow.
Everyone who do UFC need to learn jiu-jitsu now, because it's gonna happen.
Have we got any news
1 month lockdown from Thursday.
Can we
from
try?
Thursday?
Can we?
I don't think so.
No training.
Only open for education, work if you cannot work from home.
Okay.
You have to go to work, and food shops will remain.
Breaking my
The
heart.
learning martial arts is education.
Well, that's
Yeah,
it.
well, it should be. It should be.
It's better than PE that they've got in schools.
Well,
Come on.
we're trying to get into school. You know, to get into PE programs. I'm trying.
Wow,
Get
that's a
capoeira in.
massive blow. Oh,
That would be good.
Yeah, that's
That would be good.
it's a knife
Okay.
in the heart. But
I'm really sorry about that. Well, we'll have to find out the details because maybe there will be
One
some
of
sort of
those-
loophole.
yeah, we'll have to look into this after.
No sport, no gym, no nothing.
Don't think so.
They're not considering this as essential.
Yeah.
It is for some people.
I know.
If it's considered leisure, then it's
Yeah.
needs to be shut.
It's
What
part
did you
of a lot
train?
of people mental health. You know, it's funny because on Thursday I usually teach the Thursday class and I couldn't train. And I really felt it. I really felt like, I'm missing that class so much. Like, usually every Thursday I come back and I'm like, pump it up. And I come back to home and I'm like saying to Rad, this is
People
awesome.
really underestimate how
Yeah.
important it is.
So
And for a lot of people, it's not about fitness. It's about getting rid of stress and anger
Forget
and
about
whatever
everything that's going
you
on.
have going on. You just train and you feel so good when you leave training.
But you know what? At least I don't know whether it's the positive side. At least we know when the lockdown
Yeah.
will finish. So it's until the end of November, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So from the 1st of
Yeah.
December.
we're supposed to be open from
In 2
now.
weeks.
We
Should
went.
go in 2 weeks.
You
So it
know,
means that
this year
you have to
it's
wait
just-
another 2 weeks now.
Well, in a way, if it had to happen, I'm glad it happens now because that means
Yeah.
we'll be back in the whole 2 weeks after we were supposed to go back. You've got to look at the positive side
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
Otherwise, you just sink
So-
into a hole.
Before we start jamming, yeah, let's just wrap it up with you plugging your school. So Art of Movement, you're based in
The St. Luke's Church in Barton
in
Hill.
Barton Hill, okay. Pavel will very kindly edit some pictures of your hall because it looks stunning. I haven't seen it, but pictures
You will soon
are
after
amazing.
the lockdown.
it was so good to see it today
I
when we
was
went
I
for
was so
instruments.
impressed with the way you designed everything and the mats, and then you have because it's a church, you've got these
Yeah.
massive windows and we've got sofas from parents or whoever wants to watch the classes. I can't wait to
We
roll.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I'm properly hooked to especially Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but I have to try because you have to
But the
work.
capoeira gonna help your Brazilian
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu.
I
There's so
think-
many Brazilian jiu-jitsu champions with capoeira background.
But I think my excuse will be the same you've heard for so many people. I'm not flexible enough.
Yeah, we heard that.
Because I'm
many
really
times.
not. I'm really not. And you can ask my coach and my sparring partners. Because I'm so short, I very rarely fight with people my height. They're usually a lot taller. And I can't really throw high kicks. So I always go for the body and legs. That's why when people spar me, they just go, oh, I spar with Remi, my poor thighs, because I throw very quick combinations and end with a lovely leg kick outside or inside. But I've never been flexible. My son is not flexible. My dad is not flexible. So I think it's in a family. Okay, so if you could break
We'll
this,
change that.
break the
We'll
cycle,
break the circles.
but you have to go very gentle with me, because I'm 41, so I'm not the youngest. So maybe my ligament and tendons are not so stretchy.
But I think I hear that a lot. I think it's one of the misconceptions about capoeira. People say a lot of the time when they message us on Facebook or whatever, saying, "Oh, I want to start, but I'm not flexible enough. Oh, I'm not fit enough." But I'm like, don't worry. I always use, I don't know why I have this example that is sticks in my head. I always say, when a ballerina starts, dancing, she doesn't know how to do, I don't know how it's called, when they go on the toes, So I said, don't worry, you come to class with whatever fitness level you have, and then we'll bring you to the fitness level you need to reach. It's just keep training. Everyone have different bodies.
Even if you're flexible, you still need to remember all the steps.
Yeah,
all the technique, and stuff.
We don't expect people, I think because people see those crazy acrobatics and backflips and like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. But we said
especially the spinning shit.
But we said this is extras, like the basic things that you need to do.
If you think you're not flexible, you need to come to our class and see Duncan. He's the less flexible person I know, but he's with us for 10 years.
And funny enough,
and he's played pretty good now, and he's
plays
doing stuff I will never expect him. And when he started, we said, he was not very good, not very flexible, and all the guys.
He might be listening to this. So.
Yeah, he will.
He know. So all the guys was better than him, there was guys who was better than him, learning faster, like some guys catching really hard, some guys have talent, but they cannot commit, So, for example, it was good to see Duncan keep training. He sticks. He's
very consistent.
He stick to it for 10 years, and the other guy, for example, he stopped training. And then he came back not long time ago, just for a few classes, I remember, before we went to travel. Duncan was better than him. The other guy could do backflips. The other guy could see awesome kicks and learn them just so quick. Everything was learning very fast, potential, very good potential, But you see, this is what happened. He stopped training, and Duncan carry on, and he took it over, And yeah.
And we were saying about nicknames earlier. So Duncan's nickname is Madera de Lei, which means piece of wood, because he's so inflexible. Yeah. But he created his own capoeira with his own body, and he plays super nice. And
so you can have your own capoeira.
Everyone has his own capoeira, because you collecting your favorite moves. It's your way how to how you're gonna play. You have stuff.
Yeah. You recognize some people have favorite moves.
For some people, of course, I don't do backflips, but if I could do backflips, I think I will be doing all the time,
Yeah. So you'll still be doing, even if it's the lockdown happens, you'll still be doing classes online.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu for adults and kids.
Yeah.
Capoeira for adults and kids.
Yeah.
You're doing your unique Art of Movement Flow, and you're hoping to start your Carnival Fitness. So that's for men and women?
Maybe I will do both. I think I will have a class which is women only, and then one which is men and women, because it's good for everyone. It's good fun. It's really cool.
I cannot dance. I don't dance.
That's why you should come.
Someone told me warriors don't dance.
They do. Look, I told you in Cuba, the military guys learn how to dance so they can move faster.
I know, but I like the other version.
No, it's not true, because I started doing samba reggae, and on just DVD, and copying the choreography, and some moves were very similar to capoeira.
Yeah, actually, but I was watching this as well, and I thought, this is because samba reggae from Brazil, and you can see is like the same culture of the body movement, what is created. So now seeing this and doing capoeira, doing makulele, puxada de rede, doing jiu-jitsu, it's same, like you can see it's the same culture, the same pattern. Maybe in other martial arts, I don't have experience, but everything what like I do is more like the Brazilian, and it's like it's the same. It's the same, you know. It's you can take everything. Okay, so this is like. This is like
so once you
teaching,
understand
you know?
one
Yeah.
aspect of it, it's
Yeah.
easier to comprehend
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else because it's based on the
Yeah.
same sort of principles.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. So hopefully we'll see you open from beginning of December.
December now, looks like.
You never know. We didn't have enough details. I think they
2nd December should be open.
yeah, but we'll have to wait and see. We have to wait and see because
Yeah.
it would be really stupid for them to not allow some gyms to open.
We'll have to see because we've got all the COVID guidelines, safety guidelines into place. So that would be a shame.
Yeah,
if they don't allow
it
this.
would be a huge shame for all the gyms.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I don't like it.
Nobody does.
no
They're
one
stealing
does.
our freedom, you
No
know.
one does. No one does.
No.
And I do you know what? Even though I still have work because I work with social care, so my work is still considered as essential.
Mm-hmm.
So I still go and I still do, I train nurses and carers and I do my assessments. But I see, everyone around me, losing their jobs
Yeah.
or really struggling. And it just breaks my heart. Because
Kids as well. Kids, I think
Yeah,
it's not good. Like when I seen this for the kids class, happening and seeing kids, crying because,
it affects their mental health as
Yeah.
well.
You know?
Absolutely.
And they don't understand what's happening.
And economy is really important as well. We need to keep it running, and it's mental health. The more you exercise, your mental health is better, and you're happier, and it just your kids are better at the same time, and your whole circle of friends as well. So it's so important. Brilliant.
Fingers
So
crossed.
thank you so much. It's
Thank
been
you.
Thanks
how
for
long
having
have we
us.
been going for? In about an hour and a half. That's
Bye.
that's perfect.